What it do, everybody? It's your boy LOG from Where There's Smoke. Uh, the feds have been active lately, and I'm not sure who arrested Yella Beezy, if it was state or fed, but the laws have been active recently. We got the Yella Beezy arrest in relation to the Mo3 killing, and then we have a bunch of rolling 60s Crips arrested in LA. So we're gonna get into that and just kind of talk our shit, speculate, and yeah, give our opinion. Same old shit as usual. You know how we do here at Where's There Smoke. So give me a second. I'm gonna check the streams. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Rumble. We're live on Kick. I'm gonna check all the streams. Make sure everything's good, and then we're gonna jump into it. So give me a second, and we'll get going.
It's that Centex boys, and we're out here, and we got something to say. Man, what the fuck is going on with the world nowadays? People going crazy over little things. Another day. Another day I gotta go ahead and do something I wanna do. Ain't no one wanna do it for me. This world can be so lonely. To the top, looking back at all the lives that we lost on the way. Another day, just to pray, forget the pain. What the fuck is up with the world nowadays? People going crazy over little things. Is it even Sunday? Jesus saves. Thank God I'm blessed to see another day. Another day. Gotta go ahead and do something I wanna do. Ain't no one wanna do it for me. This world can be so lonely. To the top, looking back at all the lives that were lost on the way. Another day, just to pray, forget the pain. What the fuck is up with the world nowadays? People going crazy over little things. Is it even Sunday? Jesus saves. Thank God I'm blessed to see another day. Never know when you're gonna lose your life someday. There's a price to be paid, way worth than gold. Evilness wanna take your soul. Wake up when you're gonna wake up. The finger is pointing too close to home. Always attacking when alone. Even started taking off.
Tell them Kendrick did it like why?
Everybody, I'm Steve Eager. Dallas rapper Marquise Conway, who goes by the name Yella Beezy, was arrested and charged for a murder-for-hire scheme. He was arrested earlier this week connected to the 2020 murder of another rapper. Fox 4's Stephen Dahl is in the newsroom with more. Stephen.
Steve, the murder victim back in 2020 was Melvin Noble, who went by Mo3. Noble was killed in an ambush-style shooting during the day while he was on I-35 in Dallas. Investigators identified Kewan Dontrell White as the shooter in that crime. White is currently serving 9 years in prison for a firearm charge connected to the shooting. Conway, who goes by Yella Beezy, is accused of hiring White to kill Noble.
All right, Steve, what's the backstory on this? What are prosecutors saying about a motive for this hit on Noble?
Yeah, so we've requested court documents outlining the claims by investigators to arrest Conway. We usually are able to get an arrest warrant affidavit. That's where we get a summary of the evidence in the case, but because this case was a grand jury referral, we don't have access to that information. So exactly how Conway is linked to the murder-for-hire plot is unknown, but it was strong enough information for the grand jury.
Got it. So the murder or hit was almost 5 years ago. I'm Steve Eager. Dallas rapper Marquise Conway, who goes by the name Yella Beezy, was arrested and charged for a murder-for-hire scheme. He was arrested earlier this week connected to the 2020 murder of another rapper. Fox 4's Stephen Dahl is in the newsroom with more. Stephen.
Steve, the murder victim back in 2020 was Melvin Noble, who went by Mo3. Noble was killed in an ambush-style shooting during the day while he was on I-35 in Dallas. Investigators identified Kewan Dontrell White as the shooter in that crime. White is currently serving 9 years in prison for a firearm charge connected to the shooting. Conway, who goes by Yella Beezy, is accused of hiring White to kill Noble.
All right, Steve, what's the backstory on this? What are prosecutors saying about a motive for this hit on Noble?
Yeah, so we've requested court documents outlining the claims by investigators to arrest Conway. We usually are able to get an arrest warrant affidavit. That's where we get a summary of the evidence in the case, but because this case was a grand jury referral, we don't have access to that information. So exactly how Conway is linked to the murder-for-hire plot is unknown, but it was strong enough information for the grand jury.
Got it. So the murder or hit was almost 5 years ago. What's Conway's current status?
So at last check, jail records show that Conway is still in jail being held on a $2 million bond. If he is able to bond out, there's a list of things that he would have to abide by to be in those rules and regulations until his court appearance.
Got it. Okay. All right, Stephen Dow in the newsroom. Thank you.
didn't really travel. And it really paints the picture of like, how do you go from someone who's doing amazing in school, you're a basketball prodigy, and then how do you just start killing people on the side? And you realize that, like, as a teenager, a lot of his friends were just being wiped off the face of the earth by their ops, by the other neighborhood. Revenge on Quando Rondo's friend. They probably wanted Quando, but they didn't get him. They got somebody else. And it's like, probably 5 or 6 or however many OTF members are going to go down for that. It's just like this
rinse and repeat.
very
Over and over
rarely
again,
works
over and over
out in a
again. It
way
never
that is
works out.
beneficial.
Not when it comes to high profile shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can kill some homeless guy in an alley, and if there's no cameras, you might get away.
But you look at the Draco thing, I mean, seems like the guys who did that are going to skate forever.
Well, but that was a very unique situation.
Very,
That was in the back of a backstage at a concert with literally hundreds of people around. It's hard to figure out who did what. It's a huge scuffle, and it was a brawl,
There's
right?
dozens and dozens and dozens, maybe like 100 people conspiring, really. And the fact that none of them have managed to yap to the police or whatever, I do believe that as time goes by, that we'll probably see a day in which it's documented how all that went down.
Someone's going to need to get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
Someone's going to get caught up beating up their girlfriend.
Yeah.
And, they're going to have priors. The police are going to be like, well, you're facing 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to say, well, you know something? I got something for you.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that rapper Draco who got killed back in, 2000?
Might have already happened. And they might just be sitting on it and trying to build the case, since these things don't happen overnight.
Too many people were involved. And I think that if you do that, it's not your first time at the rodeo.
Yeah.
You've been involved in this type of bullshit, and you've probably been caught. You're probably in the system already.
Yeah.
And I just don't feel people who stab someone to death go on and go back to a corporate job and live a quiet life.
Nah.
And, never get in trouble again.
Nah,
I feel like
probably some veteran gangbangers already.
Yeah, it's if you stab someone to death, you're probably going to be going through other legal challenges through the course of your life. And like I said, you might want to get that, the get out of jail free card is always there.
Yeah.
I'm sure a group of people after this happened got together and had a conversation about it. fist fight. Didn't end up being a fist fight. But whose fault was it? Who ultimately, you know, Lil Tim walked away from it as stand your ground.
Yeah.
The legal system has told everyone that this was a justifiable self-defense situation.
Hmm.
But Dirk allegedly did not want to accept that.
Yeah.
He wanted to take it one step further and put his own freedom and the freedom of these 5 other guys involved in this insanity on the line. So I don't know, so he could feel better about himself that he somehow, you know, slid for Vaughn. I mean, it's just like I said, there's no glee in it, but it's just like, let's all be adults at one point. Like this is not behavior that society could really tolerate. You can't just sit there and put hits on people in retaliation. You know, like you just can't do that. You can't have a society like that.
Yeah,
You
no,
can't.
you can't.
You cannot. You can't
Certainly,
have
it's
people running around
unsustainable.
that
Yeah.
are doing this and getting away with it.
And I mean,
Are investigating the early morning shooting of a man driving on the Sam Rayburn Tollway. Louisville police say more than a dozen shots were fired into a 26-year-old man's vehicle and several rounds struck him. Fox 4's James Rose has more on the investigation and who police are looking for. James.
Right, Natalie. Louisville police detectives, along with state troopers and the North Texas Tollway Authority, are reviewing video and toll tag information, trying to get suspect information and piece together exactly what happened this morning. Louisville police say at 3:38 this morning they got a 911 call from a driver saying he'd been shot multiple times by someone in another vehicle in the northbound lanes of the Sam Rayburn Tollway at FM 544. Police say 26-year-old DeAndre Conway was shot 3 times and was still conscious and breathing when he was transported to a nearby hospital. Conway told investigators he was out with friends and had dropped them off in Louisville and was on his way home when he was fired on. Police say more than a dozen rounds were fired into Conway's vehicle. Investigators are hoping businesses and/or tollway cameras will lead them to the suspects. Investigators say it's unclear if Conway knew who fired the shots or if the attack was random.
We're uncertain of the motive of the shooting. We'll work that out as we speak and interview the victim, gather more information, also review any and all evidence that we're able to obtain through the toll authority.
And police shut down that portion of the tollway this morning as investigators work to gather evidence they believe they could have found on the scene. Now, police are also examining Conway's vehicle to see if any evidence can be linked to the shooter or shooters. Now, it's unclear what condition Conway is in. Initial reports from police indicated his wounds were not life-threatening. Natalie?
All right, James Rose, thank you.
All right, here we go. Yella Beezy, welcome back to Vlad TV.
Hey, what's up with it?
Hey, man. First and foremost, you know, I'm so happy that we're actually having this interview right now. And, you know, I know you've been through a really traumatic experience, but you seem relatively okay right now, and that's unbelievably important.
Yeah, I'm blessed still. I'm straight.
Yeah, and especially you have a new baby. You have a newborn son.
Yeah.
You know, so that's another big reason right there.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Now, you know, when I heard about the situation, the first thing I thought
was, we had just did the interview a couple months ago, and you were telling me about the situation with your father, about how he got killed.
Right. And he'll beat you,
Were you thinking of that at all?
Nah, I ain't think about it like that, but some of the bullets for me. Cause how many times I had got shot at, but I only got hit like 3 or 4 times, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow. So I wasn't the only one to actually see that connection.
Right.
Yeah, sad, man. Very sad. So let's talk about the situation for a second. So I guess it happened on the freeway?
Yeah, I just left the club on my way to the house.
Okay, so you're leaving the club. Were you performing there, or you were just there casually?
Nah, we had just left one strip club, and then I had ended up back doing going to another strip club I ain't had no business at. And it kind of transpired from right there.
Okay, now what do you mean by you had no business at the other strip club?
Just certain places you shouldn't go now that you're at a certain level.
Right, because when you go into a certain spot, it's like the DJ's like, Yella Beezy's in the house. Everyone in there knows who you are. I'm sure you had your jewelry on and so forth. It was one of those kind of situations?
Nah, it was just like one of those clubs where, you just you shouldn't be at no more. That like, once you reach a certain caliber, like a certain caliber person, like, you shouldn't be there at all type shit. Like, they ain't got enough money to even book you no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay. And this was back home in Dallas?
Yeah.
Okay. So you leave the strip club, you jump in your car, and then what happens?
I'm getting on the highway, and I'm looking to see if somebody follow me and shit. I'm going fast. Going real fast on the highway. I slowed up because like the police had somebody pulled over. So I make an exit or whatever on this tollway, and I'm still driving fast. So I'm like, anybody behind me, I just passed them up. It was cars on there, but it wasn't just like a lot of cars. And when I'm trying to find my address to where I live at, so I'm looking down at my phone, that's when they approached me on side the car and start shooting the car.
So a car pulls up on you right there on the freeway and just opens fire?
Yeah.
Okay, and you were in your G-Wagon?
Right, exactly.
Okay. So from what I understand, the car got hit up over a dozen times.
23 times.
23 times?
Yeah.
Did you look over and see?
I don't even, that's why I was telling people, I don't even remember me looking over. I just I guess I felt the shot, because I can't even really say I heard it because I had the music up so loud. I just kind of just zoned in, like I knew what was going on just out of nowhere. Because I don't remember just looking over to the left and seeing somebody beside me.
I mean, 23 times, was this like an automatic weapon or what?
I don't know. I think it was, I don't know. I think it was just some regular pills. I think they were just shooting like a lot of times, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, 23 times, that's personal. That's not a random road rage situation or nothing. This is definitely one of those situations.
Yeah.
So the car gets shot 23 times, and how many times do you actually get hit? We interviewed Yella Beezy, who's also from Dallas.
No.
And at one point, there was some sort of friction between y'all, and he explained it on another interview how it was just some stupid shit that a girl was trying to get in the middle of.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it really wasn't any kind of real beef. It seemed like the internet was trying to turn into something that it's not.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing. It wasn't no. Nah. Wasn't no beef.
And Yella Beezy's dope, man. I think, when you see people like you and Yella Beezy and Go Yayo and everything else like that, I think that you guys are lifting Dallas, just the perception of Dallas a lot. When Yella Beezy got shot up, what were your thoughts about that?
Shit, I gotta stay out the way.
Okay.
Shit, it's real out here. Shit, niggas getting hit up every day out here. Like, it's the world. Like, somebody right now, we talking right now, somebody right now probably getting shot up right now. Like, shit, you gotta stay out the way, man.
There was a song that you dropped recently, and in the beginning of the intro, it's like a couple people talking, and it mentions you and Yella Beezy. But I didn't really understand what it meant. Can you explain that?
Yeah, they was misinformed about some rap beef, and I was like, I ain't got no rap beef with nobody. I ain't got no rap beef with no rapper in my city. And no rap beef. And they was just, all that was just something that they heard, shit. They not in the street, so, their job is to report like the news. So, they just going off what they heard, and, so like, I just cleared it up on my interview when I went up there and talked to them. Like, ain't no rap beef, ain't no problem, man.
Okay. Now, what happened between you and Trap Boy Freddy?
What?
Trap Boy Freddy.
What you mean what happened?
I mean, there was a story that y'all had some sort of situation, and there was supposed to be some surveillance footage. Someone getting ran down on the street or something.
Did you see it?
I did not see it.
Oh, well, I don't know what you're talking about, because I don't know about nobody running down no street.
Well, hold on. I'm pulling it up right now.
Pull it up.
Shows some, I'm pulling it up. So I guess he claimed that he ran you down last year, and there's some surveillance footage. And I guess you responded.
Do you see somebody running down the street?
I do not.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, okay.
Okay. So you're saying that all that is just nonsense?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Internet be reaching. Vlad,
I've had Trap Boy Freddy on my show.
Shout out to all the rappers in my city. We is doing our thing. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
We don't talk about all that.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying,
all
for the city,
the rap we doing, ain't no rap beef, man. Ain't no rap beef. No. They can't put me. People can't put me in no rap beef, man. I don't get into all that, man. That make my skin crawl. Like it's nasty. Like.
Well, I mean, that's what I want to hear, man, because Dallas is popping right now, but all it takes is just a bunch of bullshit to happen between the rappers, and then Mo3.
I don't know who that is.
Okay. Well, I asked about the shooting. And he said there's no beef, but he said you just gotta stay out the way. It's real out here. And
it's real out here. Shit, niggas get hit up every day out here. Like, it's the world. Like, somebody right now, we talking right now. Somebody right now probably getting shot up right now. Like, shit, you gotta stay out the way, man.
Don't know who that is.
No, I don't know who Buddy is.
Okay.
Yeah. Where you from?
I think he's from the same place you're from, same area.
Dallas?
Yeah.
I don't know, yeah.
Never
Shit,
heard of
I
them?
know everybody from my city making noise.
Okay. Hold on a second. Well, Mo3 dropped a song called 219. Some people say is a diss song towards you.
I ain't never heard it.
Never heard it? Okay. So I guess that's all there is to it.
Yeah, I don't even know who you fuck you talking about. Back in Beezy, that's dropping Friday. That's my new mixtape, you know what I'm saying? Like, they got Back at It Again featuring Quavo and Gucci, man. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker going crazy. Got the Richie and Mel going over for real. Got a lot of more music coming, you know what I'm saying? Shit with Chris Brown and Too Short, all that shit.
I feel like,
I've been in my bag. I don't.
Hey man, it's my job to ask. You know when you sit down here that I'm gonna ask these types of questions.
I don't even know what question you tried to ask me.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Well, one thing we didn't cover the last couple times we talked, and you talked about being a Crip in a bunch of your songs. How old were you when you got involved in all that?
What, gangbang?
Yeah.
I don't do no gangbang.
You used to?
Huh? Nah, I don't do no gangbang. It was on some click shit. I don't do no gangbang.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
I'm a rapper.
But you have talking about Cripping.
Yeah, I know people around me and shit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, but that's not you at all.
Yeah, nah, I don't do no gangbang.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So, with the music shit, before you really started to buzz, you were paying certain artists for features.
I only paid like 2 artists for a feature. Boom me up, JT. Hey, little baby, keep your hands off me. I got big drip. I got a couple blood problems, but I'm a big crip.
This is my last video before I turn myself in.
Eugene Big U Henley posting videos to social media while riding in a van with his family on his way back to Southern California once he learned he was a wanted man.
It was all bull crap. I just need y'all prayers. I need y'all to... I don't even know what to say.
But the feds had plenty to say on Wednesday, announcing a wide-ranging RICO-style investigation, including multiple arrests of members of the Rollin 60s neighborhood Crips, of which Henley was described as a leader, alleging a long list of federal crimes, including drug trafficking, conspiracy, fraud, and worse.
The facts alleged in the complaint paint a very different picture. It is one of a murderer, a thief, a liar, and a cheat.
They claim Henley defrauded celebrities who donated cash to his purported anti-gang program called Developing Options, also applied for grants and PPP loans, and used the money for his own benefit.
Mr. Henley duped the County of Los Angeles by running a nonprofit named Developing Options, which was set up to pull youth out of the gang life and promote anti-gang solutions. Yet Mr. Henley continued to personally orchestrate violent gang activity.
But Henley, seen here in Artist Sketches in a brief appearance in federal court this afternoon, insisted he's being targeted because of who and what he is.
I didn't manipulate nobody. I didn't steal nothing. We did PPP loans. We did 2 loans. And that's it, just like everybody else did. I didn't use no fraud. I didn't give none of fake names. A lot of stuff y'all hearing is straight trash. And I appreciate the love. It's hard helping black people and not being hunted for doing it. But y'all sending it around, getting people in trouble. Like y'all don't understand what the FBI do to black men who try to help their community. I ain't been nothing but a help to our community. But I guess it is what it is. This is the price of being black and trying to help somebody, trying to help your community and do what you can. You're just guilty because somebody else don't like you.
Happening today, a music executive and anti-gang activist is expected to appear in court to face allegations he ran a, quote, mafia-style empire.
Gigi Graciette is live in downtown L.A. with that story. Good morning, Gigi.
Good morning. That music executive is actually one of 19 defendants charged in what federal agents called Operation Drawdown. Take a look at the video. The big announcement was made yesterday about those 19 defendants, and they include Eugene Big U Henley. He's behind bars today, expected in federal court later, where he'll be facing charges of running what the U.S. Department of Justice calls a mafia-like criminal enterprise tied to a local gang. Henley surrendered to federal agents yesterday, just hours after authorities laid out a wide-ranging criminal indictment against those 19 defendants, who prosecutors say worked with a well-known and decades-old L.A. gang to commit crimes like murder, fraud, and extortion. Henley is also accused of fraudulently obtaining money from the Gang Reduction and Youth Development Program supervised by the L.A. Mayor's office. We're talking about over $2.3 million in a 5-year period.
He has maintain the image of an entertainment industry entrepreneur running a music label and of somebody who gives back to the community here in Los Angeles. The facts alleged in the complaint paint a very different picture. It is one of a murderer, a thief, a liar, and a cheat, and the criminals that enabled him.
Authorities are also accusing Henley of murdering a young Las Vegas rapper, Rayshawn Williams, back in 2021. The criminal complaint further claims that Henley defrauded famous athletes, including Basketball Hall of Famer and former Laker Shaq O'Neal. Persuading them to donate money to charity. That money he then allegedly pocketed himself, according to the federal agents. That Henley is due in court later today. Reporting live in downtown LA, I'm Gigi Graciette. Back to you.